Let's just get real. There are some people in this world who don't just break your heart, they break your sense of reality. And worse than heartbreak is that hollow, dizzying moment when you start wondering, am I the problem? We've all been around charismatic people. Some are genuine, some are just trying really hard. And then there's a third category, the one that gets under your skin, lights you up, pulls you in, and then slowly but surely strips you down. Let's talk about charm. The kind that doesn't just walk into a room but takes it over. The kind that makes you feel seen, heard, validated, maybe even adored. It's intoxicating, and if we're honest, a lot of us are starved for it. We live in a world where people are distracted, half listening, moving too fast. So when someone locks eyes with you and listens like you're the only person on the planet, it's magnetic. They finish your sentences, they laugh at the right moments, they say things like, I've never met anyone like you. You feel that zing in your stomach, that sense of connection that makes you think, finally, someone who gets me. But here's the thing, real connection takes time. Real intimacy is earned slowly through shared experiences and mutual vulnerability. Psychopaths don't wait for that. They simulate it. They're not learning you to love you, they're learning you to use you. They're excellent at reading people. It's not emotional empathy, it's cognitive. They study your language, your values, your insecurities, and then they craft a persona that reflects all the things you long for. It's not just charm, it's a mask. It's a curated performance designed to lower your defenses, and it works because we're human, because we want to believe, because we've been told to look for chemistry, not character. But this kind of charm always has an agenda, and it often comes with pressure. They rush intimacy. They talk about the future too soon. They say things like, I feel like I've known you forever, when you've only just met. They move fast, not because they're in love, but because they don't want to give you time to see behind the curtain. Pay attention to that little voice inside you, the one whispering, this feels too good to be true, because sometimes it is. Real love doesn't sweep you off your feet. It walks beside you, steady and honest and a little bit awkward at first. It doesn't come wrapped in perfection. It comes with questions and curiosity and slow building trust. So the next time someone feels too perfect, don't lean in, step back, give it time. Watch what happens when you set a boundary or say no, because charm without depth, that's not connection. That's a red flag with great hair. Do you ever cry in front of someone? Really cry, like the soul kind of cry where your words are all tangled with snot and silence and you're just hoping for one thing? To be held, not physically necessarily, but emotionally. To be met with, I'm here, I see you. That's hard. Or instead they just stare, or change the subject, or worse, look annoyed. That's the thing about people who lack empathy. You could be unraveling in front of them and they'll be checking their phone, making it about them, or subtly letting you know your emotions are inconvenient. And here's where it gets dangerous. Some of them know how to mimic empathy. They've learned the right phrases. That must have been hard. I can't imagine what you're feeling. But there's no weight behind the words. No warmth in their eyes, no softening in their tone. It's empathy as a performance, not a presence. Because true empathy, real gut level empathy, isn't just about saying the right things. It's about feeling with someone. It's about entering into their pain without needing to fix it or deflect it or hijack it. It's sacred, it's human, and when it's not there, you feel it. You feel that chill in the room when something deeply personal is met with emotional flatness. You feel the loneliness that creeps in even though someone's sitting right in front of you. You feel the confusion when they seem to care about themselves just fine, but your pain is met with indifference. Here's how it starts to show up. You tell them someone close to you died, and they say, well, everyone loses someone eventually. You say you're struggling, and they say, other people have it worse. You open up about a fear, and they twist it into an opportunity to talk about how they would have handled it better. You'll start noticing that their support is conditional, usually offered only when it benefits them, when it makes them look good, or when it keeps you close. And the more vulnerable you get, the more empty it feels. Because people with no empathy don't see your feelings as something sacred. They see them as either a nuisance or a tool. Your sadness becomes a manipulation opportunity. Your anger becomes a threat to control. Your joy, that's only celebrated if they get to take credit for it. And if you try to bring it up, if you say, hey, I didn't feel supported, get ready, the defensiveness, the blame, the denial. They might say you're too emotional or dramatic or needy, but you're not. You're a human being with a human need to be seen and understood. So here's what I want you to know. You are not too sensitive. You are not asking for too much. You are asking for something very basic. Empathy. And if it's not there, no matter how charming, successful, or magnetic someone may seem, if they cannot sit with you in your pain, they are not safe to sit with you in your life. The moment you let your guard down, the story you've never told anyone else, the scar you carry that you finally decided to show someone, it's sacred, it's human, it's brave as hell. When we open up to someone, especially in the early stages of a relationship or friendship, we're extending a quiet hope. If I show you who I really am, will you still choose me? Now, in healthy relationships, that vulnerability is cradled with care. It's honored. It's seen as a gift. But when you're dealing with a psychopath or someone dangerously manipulative, that vulnerability doesn't touch their heart. It feeds their strategy. They don't see your vulnerability as a sign of trust. They see it as leverage. You tell them about a childhood trauma, and later during a fight, they say something that cuts into that very scar. You confess a fear or insecurity, and suddenly it shows up as a punchline in a joke at your expense. As you express a need and they twist it into weakness, something to mock or manipulate. And the worst part, it doesn't happen all at once. At first, they're tender. They might even encourage you to go deeper. You can tell me anything. I would never judge you. I'm not like the others. So you open up, you start to trust. And that's when the shift begins. They start storing pieces of your pain like ammunition in a drawer, just waiting for the right moment to pull it out. Not to help, not to heal, but to control, to silence you, to win. They might even use your vulnerability to gain sympathy from others. Suddenly, your private truth becomes part of their narrative. She's a mess. He's got so many issues. I've tried to help them, but they're just too damaged. And now the very thing you shared in trust becomes the story they tell to discredit or shame you. This is emotional betrayal at its worst. It doesn't leave bruises you can point to, but it leaves wounds, deep ones, because what you start to learn slowly, painfully, is I can't be real with this person. My truth isn't safe here. And that is a suffocating, soul-shrinking place to live. So if you felt this before, if your honesty has been twisted, your fears used against you, your softness turned into a weapon, I want you to know something important. That is not your fault. That is not what vulnerability is meant to cost. And more importantly, that's not love. Real love doesn't punish you for being human. It doesn't shame you for needing care. It doesn't turn your tender moments into power plays. So when you feel that familiar sting, that ache of your own words being thrown back at you, pay attention. It's not overreacting. It's not being dramatic. It's your inner protector waking up and whispering, this is not safe. This is not kind. This is not okay. And when that whisper becomes a roar, trust, that's your strength, that's your clarity, that's your way out. If you've ever walked away from a conversation feeling more confused than when it started, if you've ever found yourself apologizing for something you didn't even do, if you've ever stared at the ceiling at 2 a.m. wondering, am I losing it? You might not be crazy, you might be getting gaslit. Gaslighting isn't just lying. It's not a disagreement. It's not a misunderstanding. It's a deliberate and manipulative distortion of reality. It's psychological warfare dressed in politeness. It's someone rewriting history while you're still trying to process what just happened. It's a slow, strategic dismantling of your self-trust. And when you're dealing with a psychopath or someone highly manipulative, this tactic isn't random, it's intentional, it's about control. Here's how it starts. You notice something small, something off, maybe they said something cruel or crossed a boundary. You bring it up, you speak your truth, and what do? They don't say, let's talk about that. They say, that never happened, or you're being dramatic, or wow, you really can't take a joke. And suddenly the conversation isn't about what they did, it's about how you're reacting. Now you're defending your tone. And now you're wondering if you imagined it. Now you're Googling signs you're overreacting. And the more you question them, the more they question you. Your memory, your motives. Your mental health, they don't argue facts, they erase them. They don't take accountability, they shift the entire narrative until you look like the problem. They'll say things like, you're remembering it wrong. I never said that. You're always twisting things. And when you start standing your ground, they'll turn up the heat. They'll triangulate, bringing in others to back their version of the story. They'll let out of conviction because they believe if they say it with confidence, it becomes true. They'll punish your clarity with silence, withdrawal, or guilt tripping. This is next level gaslighting. It's not just about confusing you. It's about reprogramming you. And because if they can control your sense of reality, they can control everything. Where you go, what you say, who you trust, how you see yourself. And over time, this doesn't just hurt, it deconstructs you. Your confidence evaporates. Your instincts go quiet. You second guess everything. But here's what I want to say to you, and I want you to hold this like a lifeline. You are not crazy. Your memory's not broken. Your emotions are not too much. Your intuition, it's working just fine. The reason you feel confused is because someone is deliberately trying to confuse you. And the reason you feel exhausted is because you are spending energy every day trying to maintain your own sense of truth in the presence of someone who's trying to steal it. So what do? You reconnect to reality. Yours. You start writing things down. You tell people you trust. You trust your body, your gut, your inner compass. And if you have the chance, you get distance, you create space, you build clarity like a fire around you, because your sanity is not up for debate. Your truth is not a question mark. And your story, your real, raw, unfiltered story, does not need anyone else's permission to be valid. Their truth is whatever serves them. You know how real trust is built? It's not built on how perfectly someone tells the truth. It's built on how consistently they do it, especially when it's uncomfortable. Now imagine someone who doesn't just avoid the truth, they bend it, break it, twist it, rebuild it into whatever shape makes them look best in the moment. That's what happens when you're dealing with someone whose truth isn't grounded in reality, it's grounded in convenience. For them, truth is not a principle, it's a tool. And they'll reshape it, reinvent it, or erase it altogether if it serves their image, their agenda, their control. Here's how it shows up. They lie, not once, not twice, but as a pattern. And not just big lies, though those happen too. It's little things, easily disprovable things, things that don't need to be lied about. You catch them and they don't blink. They double down, they spin it. If you push too hard, you become the liar or the aggressor or the one who just won't let things go. They're allergic to accountability. They'll say something on Monday and deny it by Friday. And when you bring up the contradiction, suddenly it's you misunderstood me. That's not what I meant. I never said that. It's not confusion, it's control. Because when someone keeps moving the goalposts, keeps rewriting the script, keeps pretending last week's truth no longer exists, you're the one who starts questioning everything. Your version of events, your understanding of conversations, your sense of what's real, and here's the heartbreaking part. You start to adapt. You stop asking questions. You stop challenging inconsistencies. You start shrinking, doubting, censoring yourself. Because truth-telling feels like a losing game with someone who doesn't play fair. But let's be really clear about what's happening here. This isn't just dishonesty. This is manipulation masked as flexibility. This is gaslighting in disguise. This is someone saying reality only matters when it benefits me. In relationships like this, romantic, professional, even familial, you'll always feel